I'm going to try to remain positive even though I see things already messing up. You know, it's crazy, man. Once you see like these little outside forces and you recognize that these things are like parasites, man. They kind of weasel their way in. They kind of weasel their way into something that you're doing that may be constructive or positive towards God, and declaring and testifying of Him, before men. This is what drives them nuts. Okay, nuts. Those parasites, the fallen angels, and stuff like that. That's what drives them nuts. Okay, so let me just, um, yeah, let me make sure we're on track here. I told you about my wife. Okay, in the Bible, it just so happens that Moses had a black wife. Okay, just as I had this black woman come up to me saying she was my wife with her kids through some kind of algorithm on the computer. She found me. I didn't find her, along with two other golden beings and personages with praying hands that led me to where I'm at right now, okay? And I told you, for some reason, I had this dormant DNA in me, man, that's activating as I speak, you know, spiraling and creating, and, rising above and just exploding. As of lately, I never thought, like, there was real downloads that exist, but I have been getting downloaded for some reason. And it involves Egypt and Kemet. Okay, for those who don't know, I had this deep history and understanding of Kemet since a young child. I don't know why. Why is that? You know what I mean? Why is that? Well, I could tell you why, okay? Um, it's that everything is already embedded in your DNA. Everything's embedded there, okay? And I didn't recognize this. I didn't know that the universe and, every past life and every ancestor I had, man, they're all in me. And that's the goal and the distraction and what I want to stress to you is that it's all in you too. And this is just where I was led. And the universe has led me, and God has led me through much prayer and, understanding and searching and seeking. That's Akhenaten. That's the face. I told you that's who said my identity to be. I don't know why. As you can see, there's something protruding down from his left eye. That is one thing I still haven't figured out what it is. I think it's some form of bacteria. I'm not sure. Um, Here's another different picture. Um, as you can see, this is also they tried to wipe him out, from the memory of Egypt because he brought monotheism, which is not a bad thing, and Otnism, which is his religion that he taught. He believed that there was, one divine source, and those were the rays from the sun, okay, and the life-giving rays of the sun gives life to birth a child, gives life to every living thing in their head, This is, this involves, a little deeper understanding of melanin and why they were elongated beings and had elongated skulls. They used to pull back the skulls of some people and heads like Nefertiti and stuff like that. All it meant was that it involved their pineal gland. They wanted to open it up to, I guess, be of more use to them, and a lot of people did that back in the day. Also, elongated head. It wasn't much. It was he was the real alien. He was the hybrid. He was also the being I saw down in Antarctica and downloaded my consciousness. Gaining my, literally my consciousness. And also you could see the male and female aspect of things. Okay? So, which is also, most people don't realize the difference between male and female and negative and positive and, matter, you know, divine feminine, divine masculine. Um, and, yeah. As you can see, the life-giving rays of the Aten, right? I mean, how God being light, Atanism, Hermeticism, things like that, Kundalini. This is the stuff I'm talking about. But ancient Kemet goes a little further and deeper and shows you, exactly what Atanism really didn't really speak of, and it's all it is, man, is just basically just believing that the Aten, just like the atom, is in everything. It's in all. The all is in all. Okay, and an atom, of course, is what we are made up of and where we come from, and the name Adam just happens to be Adam. But yeah, and yeah. So I was showing these things that, like, you break the atom down, just like I told you CERN is doing. Okay. And because they're looking for particles, colliding particles, and new particles, and weird particles. So, an atom being, the basis, and the basic 6 neutron, 6 electron, and 6 proton. This is also the name of the beast. The beast meaning, the human, the mortal man, the carnal man. Okay? This is the truth. This isn't probably going to fit your Christian narrative or revelation or things like that. That's what it means. 666, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, and 6 protons. And this makes up the atom, okay? And what CERN is doing is breaking the atom apart into, to the nucleus and, further from there into cells and things like that. And, yeah, I mean, even the smallest little particles, can be seen and detected by CERN. So don't think they can't see evidence of God when God moves either. Trust me. When God raises his right hand, and stretches forth the heavens, and shines forth, man, that's like, hey, the reason why the sun comes out, man, you know what I mean? Comes out. And runs that race. It runs across the poles and across the universe. Same way the sun is to the moon, just like I told you. The ancient Kemet people believed that the sun is female, and that even though divine counterparts like Ray and Amun Ray and his wife and yada yada and his wife, their divine counterpart, the female was venerated the most in Kemet and looked at as the women who wear the crowns, the women who take care of the business, the women who are actually more venerated than the men. We live in a man's world here in America. Most Christian churches in America, they're all men dominated. The thing about what I'm trying to teach you, man, and what I'm trying to say to you. Here's a good picture. what I'm trying to teach you is that things didn't work like that with Akhenaten, or with what I'm trying to tell you, which is that you were both both sexes, and both masculine and feminine, and according to your nature, or disagreeable or agreeable, positive or negative. The scales of balance are just, you know, and they don't lie. They don't lie. That's the thing. I don't know why here. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is, right here. Yeah. I mean, you could think whatever you want to think about it. Here's, see, aliens in Antarctica. Why are there aliens in Antarctica, you say? And things like that. If you're not familiar with any of this stuff. Well, I could tell you why. Whatever happened with, atomic energy and atomic warfare, it opened up some kind of door that whoever had been monitoring us, living on whatever different type of source, are no longer doing that, and they're in here working with our governments and this and that. And you say, man, that's crazy, man. That's just government cover-up. For the most part, a lot of it is, man. A lot of it is, and some things you just can't escape. And this was one of those things. See that face? That is Akhenaten's face. I know this for one reason only. You see his right eyes look all messed up like that? Okay? Akhenaten was an alien gray. He was a Romardian gray. Okay? He was a Romardian gray. He was one of the first real extraterrestrials on the planet. Now, is God an extraterrestrial? Yes. Okay, God is the ultimate ET, the Aleph Tav, and that's what God really means. It means Aleph Tav. It means like ET in English, and that means outside of us, outside of the solar system, something that could just stand by and watch us, and don't think that you aren't being watched, or you're observed. Or I always tell people, like, hey, you wouldn't believe that God has UFOs. God has UFOs. God most definitely has a fleet of ships, and a big one. Trust and believe that, man. And the Anunnaki and stuff like that. And yeah, that's true. That's true. And it's fantastic, but it's true, man. And so Moses, as I told you, my wife's on the run. She's begging people to stay, provide a home for her and her kids just for a couple days until she can get to the airport to get somewhere else. This is what she's filling me in with. I am like now freaking out now because I'm on the run from the Vatican. This stuff had happened to me, and I just remember that whatever had happened to me, okay, it involved used DNA. Yes, used DNA, okay? And everything was about DNA. That's what it was about. That's what everything had happened to me. And then they said, okay, that the green man was headed over to the Westland, okay? Now, who is the green man? By the way, this DNA was in a jar, like a pill bottle. And some guy had cast whoever it was. I don't know who it was, if it was God or what. It could be. Could just be. I don't know, man. It involved DNA. This person swallowed a pill. They said this spell. I got real scared. I kind of jumped up as soon as I saw this rainbow, whatever, kind of see-through snake blending into the guy's shirt. It came up his leg, up his shirt, and then down by the front of his chest, and then down under this golden book that this kid had, this Korean kid, and he was saying whatever he was saying. He swallowed the pill real quick, and there were eggs in front. It was just all kind of stuff, X-rays, and it said "still alive" on it. Okay, and it said that he's still alive. This was going on. This was the start of COVID, and yeah, man, it's just I thought I died. Okay, and the reason why I thought I died was because when this snake bit me, this snake wrapped itself along my arm. Okay, and bit me. Okay, and I hit the floor where I was in my place and thought I died, man. And like just found it inside me through the creative will and force, man, to get up. Even though I was dying, man, I could tell there was something about the Osiris face, or the Osiris mask is what it was. Let me just look this up real quick. Osiris mask. And it was something like nobody wants to approach it. Nobody wants to, talk about it. Well, I was on my knees and I was like, before Osiris, basically. And basically granted whatever, the mask, I don't know. I don't even know, man, what it was. But Osiris, all they said was that the green man was heading over to the Westland, and that he was saving some blood for somebody special. So maybe that's why I was running from the Vatican. I don't know, man, when that had happened. I don't know, because they never touched me. They never got to me either, though. And let me tell you something. When you have things like this happening to you, you're going to run like a baby girl, okay? And I remember begging my mother, man. I went to my mom's house in a rushed, heated moment. I wanted to put this blood somewhere, so I wanted to dig it up in the ground and hide it. And pounding on my mom's door. Hey, can you let me in? Hey, can you let me in? What are you doing here, Mike? And just like I've always felt this way, sometimes I feel like my parents aren't my real parents. And then sometimes I feel like demons are like I see demons in them. And they scoff and they cut up, but nobody calls them out on it the right way. Including me. The most. I don't call them out on it. Because they're my mom and dad. I want to respect them and honor them. And I don't think it's really them. I think it's like some kind of demons, man, in some other dimension that you can't see. Using my mother or father, as a vessel. Things like that. I've thought this before. And my mom and dad, they're cool, man. They're not bad people. They're good people. But they just, I don't get down with them all like that. Like, in that dimension, there's something that happens, man. Or it's the enemy trying to trip me up. And that's what I've always thought. Like Moses also. And, man, it's just, I had, sounds odd, man, but this snake I had gotten off of my arm and the skin of it, and man, let me tell you something. I was too busy to take pictures or anything like that. I was just told I had to go to Walmart and get a golden mask and get like, this golden mask and like, it's almost like kind of like what I'm showing you, this Osiris mask. I went to Walmart to get this shit. What am I doing? I would never do this shit normally. And here goes this giant dude where I'm at in Walmart with two little girls. Yeah, two little girls. I couldn't believe it. This dude was gigantic though. I never seen anybody that big. And he was weird, I could tell. So like I could tell I wasn't in the same place as I was before, in the same dimension, and this guy was a giant or some kind of alien himself with two little girls, man, two little daughters. And also, somebody had two little daughters. Moses. And I was getting calls on my phone or tablet, and I saw the picture of the person, and they would send me these pictures saying, are you going to answer the phone? And it would be like this little blonde haired girl, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on, dude? I'm just like, what is this, man? I could tell, man, whatever it was, I had been listening to a guy named Bern Zampano. He was a pastor down in Miami somewhere at a men's, rehab place or something. I would listen to him every day. I liked him. Bern Zampano. He was my kind of guy. And he had a section of whatever he was doing called Leviathan Rising. And he had taught me so much. This man taught me a whole lot. And he was also endowed with the Holy Spirit. I not only know this, and he was part of, the priesthood or my, tribe, whatever, or part of the elders or whatever. He was somebody who was endowed, with the Holy Ghost. And I learned so much from him about Leviathan, who Leviathan was, what are the traits of Leviathan, how the devil works, and how God works. And, he spoke clearly in Scripture, just all about the Old Testament stuff and just practical stuff. I just enjoyed him. And one day he said he's going on teaching the class, and he raised his hand up, and all of a sudden I saw my screen froze as he was literally saying, that's because the devil knows you are a high priest after the order of Melchizedek. Okay, Michael Zadok. And I said, what? I'm like, what? It's like, dude, it's like somebody tried stopping it and shutting it down right as he said it. And he was trying to sneak it in too. He's like, that's because the devil knows you're a high priest after the order of Melchizedek. And once you, oh yeah, that really happened too, my friend. And about a million other things I can name, but for time concerns, I'm not gonna name them. But yes, this man didn't know me from Adam. Obviously saw me through a screen somehow. I have no idea how. And is now talking to me, looking at me, pointing at me, saying, I'm a high priest after the order of Melchizedek. Okay? Well, I don't know how many times people say that to you, but I never had it said to me. Okay? Mind you, I never had the Vatican chasing me before, or some black girl telling me she's my wife and the kids, and she's on the run, and she got to run, from these people because they're assassins. They want to stop the seed. They want to stop our seed, whatever, And I'm just telling you, man. And then, me finding out who Moses was, and the Akhenaten and Antarctica things I told you, and this all connecting to ancient Kemet, to Cushites, and me finding out that Moses is the king of Cush at a certain period of time. And just waking up, man. And here we are, man, today, man. Just, just me and my girl, I guess, like wherever she is, however she is. And, yeah, I had a child taken from me, and um, yeah, I've been called, I've been called this name. I saw that we were nothing, absolutely nothing. Okay, and yeah, yeah, they said I had this heritage, like this Kemet heritage, and this Egyptian heritage. Once again, did not Moses have the same thing? He wasn't taught about his heritage, right? Yeah, I believe so. I don't think he was taught about his heritage, right? And things like that, and or his family. So there you go, man. It's just this is. Hey, you don't want to believe me this Passover? You want to take your chance and not believe me? You know, I mean, most people that know me probably wouldn't believe me just because most people don't believe in the truth, and that's the truth. You want to know why? Because when you get really real truth, it's stranger than fiction. It's hard to believe, it's hard to fathom, but it's real. And one thing I learned, man, is that with this newfound authority, man, and love and heritage, man, and just ancestry, man, I just hey, man, I just want to share it, man. So real quick, I just want to make sure. And then I had this thing happen to me in Newark, Ohio, and involved the Decalogue Stone. Here goes. Akhenon's religion, scholarly debate, link between the two. Yeah, of course they're connected. Of course. I mean, everybody knows Moses was Akhenaten. And the secret history of Egypt, I've always been obsessed with Egypt. And I've become enlightened by the, Cushites and things like that. And yeah, here you go. At the time of the Exodus also was called the Ascension, the crossing as well. Why was it called the crossing? Well, don't you know Planet X and the Nibiru? Don't you know that, this winged planet and that Moses had been connected to all this stuff? He knew about all this stuff. He knew about all of it. This was not something new. And, this is Moses' story, man. This is not a human being either. This was a consciousness that I had, I guess, it took mine. It took mine. I don't know how it did. It took my consciousness. And had all these relations to Moses. And what else did I want to say? Let me see. And then, yeah, this. Okay. So you have the Akhenaten face, and you have this. It's just really, really odd, isn't it? I don't know how else to tell you than that it involved taking my consciousness, okay, running this virus program on my phone, infecting every single thing on my phone, file-wise and everything. Mind you, this is why I'm dying in an ice storm, okay? 6 days sleep deprivation and found dead in the middle of a parking lot in Zanesville, Ohio and Newark, Ohio, right on the edge of both. Wanted to know the history behind the place, ended up having this amazing, crazy thing happen to me with that consciousness and the program, the alien program and virus. And I saw it literally downloading my consciousness as male and female, and also an alien gray, and also consciousness as a whole. And this was a program that, a big brain, basically a big brain. Don't think they can't put this stuff into computers and connect it somehow to the phones, and don't think they aren't already doing it. I'm the only person that will tell you anything like this, and I don't really care if you believe me or not. It's not for me to convince you. It's for me to wake up more and convince myself of more. And you can't deny or take what I'm telling you from me. You can't do it. You won't do it, and you can't do it. So not only did that happen in Antarctica, and this happened in Newark, Ohio, let's go to, I don't know, Newark, Moses Decalogue Stone, huh? Nobody really talks about this either. This happened right around the same time, and where I had just so happened to die at. Okay, Newark, Ohio. You know, this is the Decalogue Stone. This is a piece of it. This is also in a language unknown to anybody. Nobody knows. Should that not tell you that this was found in Newark, Ohio? You know, from an ancient burial mound where they buried the dead at. Should they, which Joseph Smith also had to do as a Mormon, and was also found burial mounds, and was a treasure hunter and whatnot. Here's the thing. Ancient America, that's what we're talking about here. The Ohio Decalogue Stone. Okay? Yeah, pretty crazy, right? With all that I'm telling you, are you not connecting the dots and figuring out what I'm trying to show you? That somebody might have the stone, what stone? And this fits perfectly inside a man's hand. Oh yeah, man's hand. Funny, you could fit around 4 fingers and 1 thumb, quite a bit. And whoever put this here, and whoever's trying to show you and me, to show me, because this has been part of me, part of my life. And this goes to the Mormon faith, and wow, man, I think record keeping, ancient record keeping, okay? Hebrew characters, some are, not all are, I believe. And yeah, this is ancient America. Well, that happened to me about 5, 6 years ago, 7 years ago. Doesn't seem so ancient now, does it? Doesn't seem so ancient now, does it? And I promise you, it can't be more coincidental. It happened just how it happened. And I didn't realize where I had been when I had been sleep deprived and found unconscious like that. And may I also mention to you that Michael fought over the body of Moses with Satan. So the devil's gonna hate this. The devil doesn't like this. Trust me, he don't like this. There's nothing more truer, more authentic than somebody telling the truth. It's not only refreshing to hear, but it's needed. It's needed for all of us to grow and to hear. I learned from people wiser than me, much wiser. And that's what the devil hates what I'm bringing to the table here right now. You can't deny it happened to me. It happened to me. And now you're just hearing about it now. So yes, Moses did fight, or Michael did fight over the body of Moses. And you say, wow, Michael, what happened? I told you who won the war in heaven. Light won. There was found a place for neither one of them. Okay? The devil and his angels, and Michael and his angels. And the place was found no more for them. It means they came down, and that's just saying, in an empty room, it was written somewhere that light had won. So, you take it how you want to, and, I'm just telling you the truth, man, about everything, about the coincidences about and similarities of me and Moses and Kemet and Egypt and Cush and Antarctica, Akhenaten, technology, transhumanism, the future proving the past and also changing it, and the past also proving the future, and what will be again and come again. And there is no death, there's just a continuum. And I believe that they wipe our brains and memories, and however we may start on this earth, I don't know, man. Do we play certain characters that were, mentioned in stories of the Bible? Yeah, because the Bible's kind of playing out in live action, in real life. That's the truth about movies, Hollywood. Everything's the Bible. You can always break the words down, the root of the words, and figure out the identity of the word and where it came from and who's speaking it and what tribe or nation or part of this universe it came from, man. And it's important to remember this stuff. That's why I'm telling you. Okay, so please don't ever forget it. And remember the time. When this Moses thing happened, by the way. I was born in 86, so I really want to know when this happened. The thing with the whole stuff in Newark, Ohio happened to me in 2016, when I told you Apollyon had come. And nobody believed me. But, yeah, he came. Yeah. And I believe it also, since then, has awakened certain people with certain abilities for a certain time period. All predestined, all the most holy given. And I'm just here to just testify of it, man. That's what I'm told to do, and that's what I'm going to do. And don't you don't think that there aren't time travelers and angels. I'm not going to say it again, but you guys are going to think what you're going to think, All I can tell you, man, is that I'm not from the future or anything like that. But yes, you can move in and through. And only so certain beings can do this, though. One of my brothers, he can, the old G-man, you know what I mean? He can. And, he's like, one of the few that can. But yes, there are angels that come in and out of here and through time and out of time, and humans from different times. They come all the time. There are specific dates and events you can measure and judge things off of, and you could tell by the time if you remember the time, and if you can just see, if you could see through time and you could travel through time and space, man, it's possible, man. It's possible. I could tell you that, hey, you may be talking to a, trust me, humble, not a special demigod. And not really proud of that, I could say. And maybe my mom would be proud of it. Sure. Maybe Mary would be proud of me wherever she is. But maybe we'll meet again. And hey, maybe we won't. And whatever's going to happen, it's going to happen the way that, my thoughts and the God mind wants it to. Okay? I know how to move the vibration, form the vibration, create the life form through matter, through my thoughts, through my energy, cause the 9 to spiral and the Fibonacci sequence and the never-ending spiral to move backwards like a spoke in the wheels, okay? And at the same time, using centrifugal force, man. Moving and ascending upward, always ascending. And at this moment, moving forward, never backwards, never still, and never untruthful. And always open, always honest, and always have an open mind. And if you don't believe in what I'm talking about and things I'm saying to you, well, I guess you need slapped with an ugly stick, they said. Because you don't believe in good. You don't believe in somebody who's pouring out his heart to you. There may just be somebody or has some kind of root that he's speaking of. Okay, you know, and might have the spark just like everybody else has the spark. Okay, this is just a beautiful, beautiful stone. They want to say that this means. So let's see. Stone is condensed. It's carved fine-grained black stone that only appears to be brown. The accompanying overexposed color photographs. As you can see, just an image. Same image that we are made in, okay, and of. You know, so it has been identified by geologist Ken Bork, Dave Hawkins of Denison University as limestone, okay, a fossil crinoid stem visible on the surface, and the stone reacts strongly to HCl, hydrochlorine maybe? It is definitely not black alabaster or gypsum as previously thought. Large white crinoid stems are common in the Upper Mercer and limestone units in Muscombe Company. Greater black such rocks at the forks of Muskegon, Zanesville, Ohio. That's why I kept seeing black stones, black statues. Black statues. What is a black statue? Oh, that's right. Who has black statues? Who's a black statue? Well, I just thought about it. That's actually the black statues represent Saturn, I believe. Yeah, it represents Saturn and the Osiris stone. Yeah, that's right, the Osiris stone. Oh, that's right, the keystone. Several months in June of 1860. I told you I was born in 86. I guess this was discovered in this year or day one, after I had. It's known as the keystone because its general shape. Shaped like a keystone. You're in the keystone state. Just may have the keystone. Held with a knob at the end of the right hand and turned to read the four sides in succession. Perhaps repetitively, it might also, I told you, that kid did that trick on me where he was repeating this shit, But I'm talking magic now. Now we're talking my kind of magic. Hold this thing up like just in my hand, fitting perfectly. We're reading this stuff and offering up prayer, supplication, and just these knobs, man, could have served as a pendulum. The material of this keystone has been identified by immediately after its discovery as novaculite. There's Q. Very hard, fine-grained, siliceous rock used for whetstones. The photographs here show the natural color, and here's the inscription on the rock, Kadesh. Here's Kadesh. It says, Kadesh, Q-dash, there's the Q again, D-O-S, there it is again. Kadesh, Kadeshim, Holy of Holies, Melech Aretz, King of the Earth. Oh, there you go. Have you ever been called that? And, or angel, messenger, whatever, Yahweh, Torath. the law of God, and of course, the living one. The word of God, the Vor Yahweh, Yodevavhe, and this was, it was surely ancient, covered 14 inches of the earth. It fell into this pit. The letters on the keystone are nearly standard Hebrew, rather than the very peculiar alphabet of the Decalogue stone. These are two different languages, okay? The part of the stone has Hebrew lettering and inscriptions. Well, this is Newark, Ohio. I told you where all this stuff had happened to me with all this bullshit with the singularity and Akhenaten and all the other issues. What is something with Hebrew letters? And so, I mean, there's been found all kind of stuff. Chief Joseph had Sumerian stuff, So what's something that is ancient doing in Newark, Ohio, in America, ancient America, where I just so happened to die and had all this stuff happen to me with Moses and all this stuff, and downloading my consciousness and all this other shit. And you're telling me that they find this stone here, and I'm not supposed to let you know about it or show you it? And I also showed you me inside of a cave, or showing you what what looks like Moses holding the tablet, standing on top of Mount Sinai. Come on, this is in the Tuckaleechee Caves in Tennessee, which unscramble that. You got a seeing. So I'm trying to help you see the same way I see. Along with my family that's Cherokee, and it just so happens that I'm in a cave now in Tennessee with my brother, and the lady's showing us and telling us about the cave, and then I find that Moses thing. And then the other thing happens with Moses. I can't make it up, okay? I can't make it up. I'm not going to make it up. And I'm not going to continue to share my Kemetic Kushite, African heritage, apparently. Don't know. But this has just been part of my life. It's not far-fetched. It's been part of my life where all this stuff had happened to me as well. In the house, had weird African pictures that were ancient as well. And I had gotten a lion face, palm trees, all from Africa. So what is my relationship with that? And all this, and everything I'm telling you. What I'm trying to say to you is that, hey man, Moses had the ET DNA just like God did. And you guys, and it wasn't, he was the twin of which the Most High, Moses was. That's the best way I could put it. He had the power of it. And yes, when I say it, I mean et, okay? Meaning E.T., yes, alien. Isn't that something? E.T. in Hebrew is it. It is also the name of the Alpha and Omega. It. What is it? What do you call it? Yeah. That's the thing. And I'm telling you, Moses had it. And he saw it. And it talked to him. Okay? And showed him these things. I'm just telling you and testifying of it. I can't do anything else other than empty myself out of it. And hopefully one day it will come back to me. That's a true thing. I have studied long enough to know what is agreeable, what's disagreeable, what is right, and what's wrong. Okay? Along with my conscience. We're talking consciousness now. And we're talking past worlds, time travelers. I told you I was obsessed with time traveler. I may just be a time traveler, who knows? Some girl thought I was from the future. And I thought she was the Ishtar. Huh. And we were both probably right. And, but as I was shown by my brother, it was about a redneck Christmas and the actual findings of Ra on my birthday. My birthday is on Christmas. And he said, we're having a redneck Christmas. And I watched the motion, the energy in motion. And everybody take their processions and motions and start the show, start the race, and this is where we're at. This is where we're at right here. This is where we're at, man, and it's so inconceivable to me. I am trying to simplify it in a way that people will understand the significance of it and understand that there is no lie to anything in my story. I would not wish anybody to lie to me. And truth is truth, and it's just the truth. And whether you know it or not, they have shit on Africa in general, as a whole. These people, are, put down people. And these are my kind of people. These are my family members, man. And it's just been part of my life, man. And apparently Moses was the king of Cush. Jesus Christ, man. I just can't tell you really anything other than this too as well. Look at this. I'm reading this and it says the Hebrew letter. What does it say? It says shin. What did I show you was on my right arm? What did I show you was on my right arm? Did I not show you the shin letter? The letter shin. Okay, what does it say? And most commonly made with a V-shaped bottom. This is a flat bottom that appears on the first side of the keystone. It may be a clue. Okay, so this is what I want you to know. The shin, the Hebrew letter shin. Hebrew letter shin. Hebrew shin. The letter shin. That is the same thing I showed you that was on my arm, okay? In my veins. That's the same place the snake bit me at, okay? What am I trying to say to you? Okay? The keystone with the letter shin on it, okay? Maybe that's another coincidence. I just showed you my right arm, my right vein. It just so happens to also look like the same thing that powers on your internet or your computer or your remote or TV. It's electricity, the power. It's the power button, okay? Yeah. So, say whatever you want, say whatever you want. This is me, man. This is who I am. This is what happened to me. And this Decalogue stone is just one of many things, all in one set, a period of time that happened to me with Moses and the Decalogue stone. As I was going to say with this keystone real quick, okay. And Michael fighting over the body of Satan, and the exact wording of the 4 inscription Come on, I'm always 9 mind, 9 spiral, 9 ether being, dude. Come on. And I always flip the 9 into the 6, and 6 can be the 9. Old Jimmy taught me that, you know. Okay, I want to check out this last little bit about this. I'm so sick of people. Listen, people, soon there's going to come a time where people won't accept anything as truth. And you'll miss the real truth. And the real truth will slip on by. You won't even catch it. You weren't looking for those things. When I tell you about Isaiah 53, and, you know, kind of speaks of like the same things I'm going through. And the same thing I get treated like. I'm not saying anything. And yes, before Abraham was, I am. They didn't know about that, did they? I told you about that one too. There was only one man that met Abraham back that resembled Jesus on the way back from war. And that man was none other than Michael and Melchizedek. Michael, Melchizedek, Zedek. Okay, the Malek, the messenger, the angel of God, man. This is what you got to realize. And yes, angels like to share knowledge. So, I would try to consider this as real knowledge. And what I'm saying to you, my own personal journey and identity testifies of itself. I don't have a problem being me or knowing who I am. I know who I am. Do you know who you are? Okay? Holy Grail or not, I got it. Dude, I got it. Like, what did Lucci say? I got it forever. But still, I don't know any better. It took a whole lot to get here. I can't turn back, never. The law of the Lord, Devar Hashem. Holies of holies. I don't get the holy holies part. The Keystone Association. Pretty interesting. Rod or staff of God. Tip of a rod, staff in my mind. Moses and his brother Aaron both had staffs. Yeah, that staff, that shin, that rod. Yes, Aaron's was kept in the Ark of the Covenant alongside the almond tree. And should I also tell you this is right by the, Columbus, Ohio, which is right by the, which has the rainbow serpent, the serpent mound. Yeah. Ancient America, man. Yeah. Amaruka. They dated this AD 70, AD 230, with a 95% of probability with some human remains still visible. Whoa. As I told you, I was found frostbitten in Newark, Ohio, found dead by a cop. And he had rushed me to, what was the name of the hospital? Oh yeah, let me tell you the name of the hospital before I stop this video, because I really don't want to keep going on with this. I just want people to understand, this happened to me. This is the proof of it, man, how I could back it up and what was going on at that time. You won't take it from me. It's true, okay? This was found just fitting perfectly inside a man's hand, and that's the measurement of it, basically. A keystone, which y'all got keys to open up doors. Some people got other keys, okay? Some people have other keys. I also told you about my Cushite heritage, which also, for whatever reason, kind of doesn't make sense, but alongside Moses, it does. When I tell you about my wife, she's Ethiopian. Her name in the Bible, they call her Zipporah, I suppose. And she was on the run. And not able to take advantage of anybody, but she had to beg for shelter and to protect her kids on the run in places she didn't want to go, and catching a flight. I hope she's all right. God sending his glory in the form of, other humans, and beings far off in distant places. Okay, just as he sent the rain down in Africa, okay, or whatever song it is, and that's just, here, I'm just knocking it down, each by each. Then, at the same time, what happened to me in Newark, Ohio, during that 6-day track between Newark and Zanesville, Ohio, not only deep spiritual things were happening, but it was a cataclysmic ice storm. The whole town was shut down. I didn't know or see anybody, except a church, I went to and for shelter, and I was on the run, and it led to me being found by this paramedic in the middle of some parking lot in Zanesville, Ohio, right on the edge of Newark, and unconscious, frostbitten, head to toe, from limb down, any elbow down, knees down. They had to rush me to Genesis Hospital as well. I told you, the guy shook his head and said he didn't make it. I watched him say it. And look at the other guy and shake his head. I was dead, dude. I was 6 days unconscious, found, sleep deprived, in the middle of the ice every night, dude. I used to have to walk this town every night. Didn't have a way home. Lost my car, wrecked it. All this stuff had happened leading up to this. I had this weird singularity type event happen also when I was in Ohio, in Newark and Zanesville, that involved Akhenaten's face coming up out of the ice and this consciousness, and it's assimilating itself to my consciousness, and using my phone to download a virus to infect it, to basically hold it hostage, take it over. Anything you can imagine, it did. And this town was weird. All I found and could see were like black statues, and it was like everything was still, it didn't move. And now I found out about these Decalogue stones found in Newark, Ohio. I didn't even know anything about Newark, Ohio. I don't even know how I ended up there, but I did. Okay? I did, and that's my testimony. And then I found out with this Kemetic origin, and black, I'm white. No, that's not my, but apparently it is, because Moses was the king of Cush. Apparently, Moses was, and Michael fought over the body of Moses, and with Satan. I mean, what more do I have to tell you, about myself? What more do you want to hear, man? I just don't understand, like, what more do you want to hear? Okay? And with these Decalogue stones, now, oh man, it's just really, okay, so it's saying the Hopi creation story may shed light. The Hopi people are my people as well. They're definitely my people. Okay, Masa was waiting for them and directed them to travel north. Once again, Moses had to go back to Egypt as well. Did he not? That's what my brother had shown me. He was showing me, like, I had to go back to Egypt because Whatever it was, it didn't work that time. And that might have been where I fell unconscious and dead. I mean, and I saw that stuff with Akhenaten. I don't know, man. Because it was like I went to Genesis Hospital, dude. They get my feet. I went to the burn unit. I don't know, man. And it's so deep, man. It's actually just blowing my mind to even think about this. But it involves the hand, 4 fingers, 1 thumb. You know, the law that Moses wrote, the transfiguration of the 3, okay, times the 3 equals the 9 is the 72, the most important 72. I already told you. Which sits also, if we're talking pyramidian math, you know, in 9 spiral math, I'm trying to show you. If you add the mathematics with the essence and the testimony and the words and the tones that I'm using with you, you understand who sits above that pyramid. Who is the missing capstone? Okay? Is the same one that transfigured and spiraled the 9 back down to the 6. This is the difference. It's 3. It's 3. So what do we do with the 3? You know, it was all me. It was all me. Me. And it's not a us and we thing. It's not like that with me. It's just like I'm testifying of the truth. And that is my job, man, because I don't know too many people that go deep like roots and have Egyptian roots like this. Or a story like this. I told you I got a story that not many men have. I'm not saying I'm anything other than what I am. You know, and before Abraham was, I am. Tripped him up again, you know. Everything is the 3, man, and you know, plus the 6, man, equals the 9, man, and that equals, you know, the difference of 7 and 2. And that is the highest point that the sun sits at noon. Okay? That is the light of the world, the light, the rays. Yeah. Which he concluded was only found in one other location in the world. Okay, check this out. Still think I'm lying to you. In 2008, okay, gathered DNA, the remains of the Hopewell mound builders near Newark, Ohio. Oh yeah, that my brother showed me. He said, you know, I got some kind of rare DNA that's like Indian, kind of like Native American too. And one other location in the world, the hills of Galilee. Oh, so you're telling me that there's no evidence that the people migrated like this? Listen, I told you what the Mormons believe too. What makes this even more insane to me about my life, you know, and there's a book of Moses in the Book of Mormon that kind of basically describes my life and how I felt at the moment and what God had said to me and my brother had said to me that you know, basically like when I'd seen something, I realized how much man is nothing. Man is very small in this big cosmos. I'm telling you, man is very small. And trust me, our ancestors know this, and they're the ones endowing me and filling me and reminding me with this knowledge I'm sharing with you. And whether or not it gets shared with anybody else, any soul, any one soul, anybody listening or hearing or connecting the dots that I'm laying out for you, no lie, no lie. No lie, like back in some days, a long time ago when I was a kid, I would lie with a little piece of a lie, you know, like tell a little lie. This is no lie.